dude?
You already know. Luigi's here. Welcome to Luigi's Wild Mustang Garage, where today in this series we're going to actually pull the engine out of the car. We're going to know what we're going to do to it. I already know I want to put a street eliminator carburetor on it with a 650 double pumper, vacuum secondaries, and we're going to put a thumper cam in it. That's all we need to do to this engine, because that's a brand new crate motor that was put in the car before I bought the car. We can bang 4 gears and go sideways down the road in this car with the 4-speed that's automatic in the car. I got you. I'm going forward, buddy. Keep going. There you go. Easy, easy. Now, grab the hand. I'm going to grab the ass and bring it around. There you go. That's it. So the first thing we're going to do before we pull this tranny and separate it from the engine is we're going to pull the starter out. Then we're going to separate the plate from the tranny bell housing, and then we should be able to pull this here transmission off, lift the engine in the air, and put the engine on the block stand. Take off the exhaust manifold. These are special bolts that go to the flywheel that are under high torque. There's always one that wants to be stubborn. And when you take this flywheel off, I'll show you a little trick. Let me show the world this one. This may look perfectly centered, all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes, but they are not. These have to line up perfectly. So you gotta put the flywheel on, go to put it back on, you gotta spin it until all of the 6 bolts line up. You can have it so one lines up, then look at there's other ones that are not lined up. I'm going to stop the exhaust manifolds. I'm going to pull the valve covers. I'm going to take off the alternator, the pulley system. We're going to disconnect the carburetor from the intake manifold. And we're going to disconnect the intake manifold from the main block, which is the process alternator. We're going to take off as many things as possible. We also want to drain the oil. Right now I'm pulling the valve cover off so we can inspect the inside of the engine at some point today, hopefully. Next thing I want to take off is going to be the carburetor. Boy, this engine looks like it always ran clean. There's no sludge or nothing in here. It's a very clean engine. I would not doubt that this engine has been rebuilt. This is from sitting 15 years before I bought the car.
You think you'll replace that?
Oh, absolutely. I'm putting a chrome one on. There you go, that boy. Once it gets to a certain point, I'll release everything, disconnect everything because I can pull it out by my hand now. And there's a keyway in there. See that little slot? See that little slot right there? Yep. There's a keyway on the crankshaft, and this has to line up on that slot. And then you see this mark right here? That mark has to line up with this mark. That puts the engine in timing. There's your timing gear. Somebody has been in this engine and has rebuilt it. It already has a timing chain on it. A double roll one at that. See this 2 gears? That's called the double roller. It would have only one set of teeth if it was original. Somebody's been in this engine. This engine's been rebuilt. I already know it. We had a bunch of ticket lifters in here, so now we're going to pull the intake manifold. And we're going to see what's going on in here. It's time to pull it.
While you're doing it.
Well, before I do any more work to pulling the lifters out, I pull the spark plugs out so that there's no compression in the cylinders, so I can quite easily turn the crankshaft over. And this dot right here, I want to line up with a dot that comes up on the bottom pulley, and you'll see it as soon as I start turning it. Okay, you see a dot right there? I'm pointing that little tiny dot right there. Yep. It's gonna line up with that dot. So, here we go. She's in perfect time. That dot lines up with that dot. This is called TDC, on top dead center, on its compression stroke. That way, when I pull everything apart, I'll put it back together in time when I pull this here off. All right, it's all gonna come at once now. Here we go. Here we go, we're out of here. Come on, one more snug. Here we go.
Let's see.
Okay, this is the top timing chain gear. Now I'll be able to pull the cam right out. I'm removing the rocker arms. It's very, very technical work here. No 2 ways of doing this. It's been years since I've done this to an engine, but you know what? Once you know it, you never forget it. Back when I was 17, 18 years old, I used to tear these engines apart. But when I take these things apart, the rockers, I like to put them right back in the same position they were when we pulled the engine apart originally. That's just how I do things. Keep things synchronized.
this side. You should be able to pull these out by your fingernail. Someone has been in this engine before. This engine was ticking, and I know it was ticking because of the lifters. One or two of the lifters were no good. We're pulling the old cam out. You gotta turn it. You gotta be real careful because you don't want to hurt the cam bearings that are in there. So you gotta go real slow. Come on now. Here we go. Cam is out. Put a vice grip on it so you take the weight off the back of it while you're trying to force it in there. Gonna go real slow. Real slow. Because I'm on the last bearing. That's the hottest one to find. Oh, I think I found it. I got it. All right, there we go. We're in. You got water in your engine, in your radiator, and it's wintertime, like up north. Instead of the block cracking, because when water freezes, it expands. The freeze plugs will pop. That's how it works. Okay, the cap's not in there. We're gonna go ahead and scrape the gasket off. Then there's a rubber ring in here. You gotta pop this baby out. Is at the front when we go to put the timing chain cover on it. Yeah, see, this is all brand new, man. This is a new motor. No doubt about it. Here we go. See, there's a dot right there and dot right there. That's perfect lining. That's TDC, top dead center. So, called Permatex. It helps the gasket to stick where it's supposed to be. I use this on anything with a gasket. I don't mess around. I call this Indian head sealer. They don't name it like that no more. Old school people remember this as Indian head. then there's little areas like here in the corners, the ears. You want to put silicone in there. We're ready to put the intake manifold on, the heart of the engine. There, that little square hole, you have to put some silicone in there. This is the extra protection so it seals. You don't need much, just a little bit. Okay, we're putting a level on here so that we can tilt the engine to and from, front to rear, and we're going to hook it up onto the hook here. We're going to jack the engine up. We're going to disconnect the main bolts from the back of the housing to the engine, and when we get up in the air enough, we're going to put the flywheel on there, and we're going to put the spacer plate on first because that goes on before you put the flywheel on. And I haven't had a chance to inspect it yet, but we're going to inspect that too. Okay. Okay, let it go. I think that's pretty much out. Alright, here's what I gotta do. Yeah. We take our time when we do it right the first time at Luigi's Wild Mustang Garage. No time like the right time. Okay, push it in a little bit. You might be clearing. Let her in. Let her in. Come to me a little bit. Push the kick over. Yep. Alright, let's drop it down. No, come in a little more. The house. Okay, stop, pull it to you. All right, then drop it down some more. Pull it. All right, then drop it down some more. Come on, bring it down. Bring it down. Some more. Some more. Ready. I gotta separate the bell housing from the tranny because I'm putting the headers on after I put the bell housing in, because with the tranny you won't be able to put the headers in. I'm connecting the pressure plate up and the clutch. This is the clutch. And the clutch connects to the disc. And that's how we have. Okay. I always do these by hand because I want to feel the torque on them. I want to know that they're catching threads.
Lift up.
Switch on. That way. No problems. Okay. Alright.
Okay, should we put the tranny in there first? Yeah.
Okay, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna end up firing up the engine, but let me back you up a couple of steps here. I had to connect up all the wiring, the alternator, the air conditioner, the radiator. I had to buy a new battery, all the wiring harnesses, the brakes, and I had to connect up the transmission, and I also put the gas tank in temporarily, and I ran the gas line. And pretty much the stage that we're at right now is we need to do the break-in of the engine. I put a thumper cam in it, and we have to bring the RPMs up, you know, to a reasonable RPM gauge, and for about 20 minutes, and then shut the engine down. That's pretty much what we're gonna do today. I have a couple other things that we need to do, but I'll get back with you on that. But for right now, we're ready to fire this baby up. Are we ready to fire it up, Scott? Woo! All right, that's what I want to hear. Now that the engine is done, we'll paint the car. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that this car is laser straight with long sandboards. That's the only way you're gonna make this car straight. Painting the car is where God puts the blessing on me, because I know how to do it. Make it laser straight. Ain't nobody does it better than Luigi's Wild Mustang Garage, let me tell you now.